it low key, keep it softly spoken, with no strings.
And now at the age of 24, their life is taking a shift.
Not only that,
Yeah.
above that,
Yeah.
I wanted to make my parents very, very comfortable. That was my
Yes,
dream.
that was her dream, to make her
That was
parents
my dream.
comfortable.
Okay, well, of course, we were better than what we were
Yes.
10 years before.
Yeah.
But the fact that my father had to now start everything from scratch,
Uh-huh.
you know, I mean,
Uh-huh.
not scratch absolutely, but he had to start from. I mean, we were.
No,
we were
it
in
was
doubt.
how can I say?
He took us back.
It's a
He
reverse.
was to the-
You know, yeah.
But you
And
see, the one thing with my father,
Yeah.
he is a person. He's a very strong personality.
Uh-huh.
He believes in never to give up.
That's the
And
thing,
he
never
said
give up.
Never give up. And
Yeah.
he's like, nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
Never give up. Whatever happens, happens for the good.
Towards your success.
And you know, him being human, the business has gone down,
Yeah.
the daughter is leaving for marriage. You know, he's saying, never give up, things will be alright.
They still like-
but they're still paying because this is
Yeah, they still
business.
pay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Of
now
course.
this is Meena. She's 24 and she needs to settle down. You need a partner. So did you find the husband? Did the husband find you, or did love bring you together?
Okay, as I said, I really did not have time to find a husband at that time. It was not one of my interests.
Yeah.
But in my case, and especially during that time, it was mostly the parents.
The parents.
Yes.
So the parents finds
The parents,
husband.
okay, what they do, they give you a selection. I mean,
Hey,
there is this
African
guy,
parents,
there is
please
that
give us
guy,
selections.
There is the options like this guy.
Of so and so.
Yes,
his
you meet
family.
him. So the meeting is like literally, can you two go out for a round?
Ah.
And you have never met this guy.
I've never met him. Okay, so at that time you can take him for a round, or you can maybe go for a coffee, talk to him, and tell
And at
us
that point, who is paying for the coffee?
of course him.
Okay. Relaxed.
Yeah.
Then you are cool.
So it was more like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So of course my parents did not force me to it,
Yeah.
but obviously they give me some 2 to 3 options
Yes.
where I chose what I thought was the best option, and I got married.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was not like love or
Yeah.
no.
Now you are in marriage. How was it for you up to now? Take us through in regards to, of course, you are now in marriage. Do you continue being a housewife, or you make the decision that you have to go back to work or be employed or start a business? Yeah.
Yeah, so what as I told you, the downfall really started. So for nearly 3 months,
Yeah.
I'd made up my mind that I never want to get into business again.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's meant for me.
Uh-huh.
I'm not destined. I got all those sorts of negative thoughts,
Yeah.
right? And I said that I'm done. I'm going to be a housewife. I'm going to learn how to cook.
Wow.
So my then mother-in-law, who was very nice,
Yeah.
taught me how to cook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mother-in-laws.
Mother-in-laws out there, you have work to do.
have
Teach
work
us
to
how
do.
to cook.
Yeah.
So she was nice. So
Yeah.
she started. She was teaching me how to cook.
Yes.
Okay. So
Uh-huh.
my day was like waking up, cooking lunch, having lunch, taking an afternoon nap, cooking dinner, waiting for my husband to come home, and watching a little bit of TV, and going to sleep.
Was it boring for you?
Yes.
It was.
So
Because she's a hard worker.
after 4 months,
Yeah.
I said, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I said, no.
You called yourself a meeting.
Yes. I said, no, this is
No, Meena.
not Meena.
No, say
No,
Meena,
no,
no.
no, 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 no.
There's always that one voice that is
Yes,
saying,
no.
this is comfort zone, but you're not
You
getting
refuse.
anything out of it.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Uh-huh.
And I say that, okay, and of course in between when I was at home, I was
Yeah.
also reading some books as well,
Uh-huh.
which talked about failing and getting up and
Yeah.
moving up and all those things, that
Yes.
failure is part of success, and
Failure is part of success.
yeah, so it was helping me as
Yeah.
well. So one day I looked at myself and I said, no, I can't do this. I can't be taking a nap in the afternoon.
Who does that?
And then going to sleep again.
Who does
I
that?
couldn't sleep. So I said, no, I can't do that. So I told my husband that I think I need to look for a job.
Yeah.
Right? Because at that time, my
Yeah.
parents would not want me to get back into their business. Again, part of our
Yes.
culture at that time. So my husband said, okay, fine, let's start getting you a job. So we passed the word around.
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't have any qualifications.
Yeah.
I didn't have any degrees.
But
So-
the ability was in you that
Yeah.
you can do it.
But you see,
Yeah.
that just when that's the thing.
Yeah.
How do you show somebody
Yeah.
that you have the
the
ability?
ability.
And that's what I tell the kids
That
of
was a
today.
challenge,
The
yeah.
degrees are a passport.
Kids of today, that's your message. Please look at the camera and talk to the kids of today.
Yeah, the degree is your passport.
Degree is your passport.
Just your passport to get in, right?
Yes.
And thereafter, you have to prove your skills.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you need a degree, especially in today's day and time.
Yeah.
It's very competitive.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had a problem at that time as
Yeah.
well, because I went for a number of interviews and they were asking me, so what are your qualifications?
Wow.
So I told them I am an accountant.
I don't have papers.
No papers, but she's an accountant,
They
guys.
are like ACCA.
Wow.
I said, no.
Even have you ever had a
CPA?
By then, no.
I said, no. And they said, okay. How do you have any qualifications, any certificates? I said, no. I used to write my father's accounts
Yes.
and they were approved by the auditors and
Yes.
they said I was doing a great job. And I understood what I was doing.
That was your qualification.
That was your qualification. And the qualification, of course, starts from your mind.
Ah.
I can do it. Yeah.
So then that person said, okay, we will let you know. So I had such 2 to 3
HR, that's your language. We will let you know.
we will let you know.
Which is diminishing sometimes.
We hear you.
So thereafter, it was not in me, but then I was ready. There was a secretarial position, and at that time there was shorthand.
Still in Kenya?
Still in Kenya, they used shorthand at that time.
Yeah.
So they said, "Could you learn shorthand?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" So I brought in a book of shorthand.
Wait, if I learned accounts by myself, I went to the bookshop, I bought a book and learned accounts.
Maths.
What is secretarial?
Maths.
What is secretarial, my friend?
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Hold my glass.
So I started learning
Yeah.
shorthand, and it was boring.
Ah.
It was boring. So I said, oh, I'm going to be taking instructions and the boss is going to tell me and I have to write in shorthand and go and type a letter. Is this me?
The windows you learned.
Through my sister,
Yeah.
I think my sister, there's somebody, the company that I work with, he was looking for somebody in an accounts position. And he told my sister that if you know somebody like you, because my sister was already in employment,
Yeah.
that please refer her. I mean, I'm looking for there's a
Yes.
vacancy of an
There's a
accountant.
vacancy.
And my sister, through my mother, called me and told me that I should go for an interview, which is what I did.
Yeah.
And I was interviewed by his son, who was a chartered accountant.
Wow.
The company secretary, who was also an auditor as well,
Titles.
The
Yeah.
seat is getting hot.
and 2 directors. Okay, so a
Titles.
panel of 4, and the same thing. So you're an accountant. I said, yes, I'm an accountant. So what are your qualifications?
I have no qualifications.
And I told them I have no qualifications. I read it myself. So the son is looking at the father is looking at the other director, the auditor.
Who do we
And
have
then
here?
there's something that just came to me and I said, oh, I'm ready to work for free.
I'm ready to work for free.
Yes.
Determination. Guys, she didn't want to stay in the house. She didn't want to take naps during the day. At the same time, she sleeps at night. She was tired of staying in the house as a housewife. I can work for free.
Yeah.
Just give me that seat, I will
I'll work for free.
as long as I don't nap in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So I could see the confusion. I could see the son telling
In the
his
room.
father that Dad,
Not competent.
you don't employ somebody who doesn't have papers.
Yeah.
Because the son asked me a few questions relating to double entry and I
Yeah.
answered them correctly. But he was kind of puzzled that she's not gone to school and she knows
And she
accounts.
knows
So
this.
just to break the ice, I just said, I'm ready to work for free. I went for my interview, it was on October 14th or something.
Wow.
I said,
Memories.
"Look, I don't mind. I can work for free for a month. If you like it, if you like me, if you think I'm competent, if I can do the job right, hire me. If not, no obligation."
How old are you now?
25,
25.
20.
You are 25 years. Can you work for free for someone? What drives you? At the age of 25? Because what I've seen is at the age of 25, the girls we have nowadays, most of them, they just want like to sit and everything is brought to them.
Most of them, they don't
Let's
even
be
know what they
sincere,
want
guys.
in
Let's be
life.
sincere. Let's be truthful.
Most
At
of
the
them,
age
they
of
want
25,
And
what
you know-
were you doing? And if you'll be watching this segment at the age of 25, what are you doing? Here comes Meena. At the age of 25, 10, she wanted to work for free. As long as she's not seated and taking naps in her house, she's out looking for her dream.
Wow. Yes. So the only person who was quick to make the decision is,
Yeah.
I know I did impress
Yeah.
the director then. He was the managing director,
auditor.
right? The auditor was 50-50.
Yeah.
The son was 0. Yeah, because he came from UK and he was
Woo.
like,
We are sorry.
yeah, he was. They don't believe.
Yeah.
They believe in
Yeah.
papers.
Yeah.
But the father, who kind of was impressed with the interview,
Yes.
quickly just came in and said, fine. He
Uh-huh.
overruled everybody and said, fine.
So you are here, you have been given the opportunity, you work for how long did you work in that organization?
10 years.
10 years.
Years.
So what did you learn? Did you go back to school? I can see the director is shaking his head.
He's shocked.
He's shocked.
Will you work for free, director? Will you work for free?
Please answer
They're
us.
waiting for the answer on the comment.
The camera is waiting. Would you work for free? He's nodding.
So but the director, obviously the managing
Yeah,
director,
yeah.
he sought my reassurance that it will be no obligation.
Yeah.
I will not feel bad. I will not be depressed in
Yeah.
case if they ask me to go.
Yeah.
And I completely assured him that, look, I have confidence in myself
That I'm gonna make
and
it
I
happen.
know it and I'm very sure
Yeah.
you're not going to let me go.
Yeah.
And he was impressed.
Yeah.
He gave me the job.
For 10 years, she worked in that company for 10 years. Then thereafter,
After that company, by
Yeah.
the way, I became the finance director.
From working for free to
Guys.
finance director.
from working for free to finance director. And by the name finance director, she is now earning. Is it? She's no longer
Wow.
working for free.
Wow.
So I was the finance
Wow.
director. I was a sole signatory. And finally, I was the managing director of the company.
In a span of 10 years.
Lisa, can I take a walk?
The seat is getting hot. You need to absorb it because you're not leaving. We need to know
Wow.
what happened later.
Wow. Wow. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so 10 years. I
Finance
joined-
director.
Yeah.
So 25 years, 10 years, not then you were
35.
35 years old.
Yes. So when I left that company,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't leave the company. They didn't want to let go of me. But the thing was, the father was aging, the son was in UK. He didn't want to come to Kenya. And by that time, at the age of 35, unfortunately and unfortunately, I was going through a personal crisis where I had
Wow.
to end my first marriage and I was
Oh.
going to. So they are.
Scars are getting to me at the
Yes.
age of 35.
Yeah. So yeah, so things
Wow.
happen, and I was then the managing director of that company, and I had an option to still continue running that company, but it came a point whereby now I was transitioning from my first marriage into a divorce, and then to my second marriage. And my second marriage, my husband wanted to move to Canada. So I told the company that, sorry, I will not be.
So that's what made you leave this particular company where you first started from scratch at an entry point and you rose. You climbed up the ladder to finance director. And now you are leaving because your husband wants to relocate to Canada.
That's right. So from finance director, I was the managing director. But the thing is now, my then managing director, who is now the chairman of the company, he could not entrust the running of this company to anyone else.
Trust issues.
And
Trust is that.
and he said that if it was not me, he will better sell the company than to give it to anybody else.
Wow.
So I was the reason why he sold the company.
Can you sacrifice your company because one of your staff is leaving? If it is not Meena,
It's not even about sacrificing your company. Are you good enough? Do you do your thing perfectly?
Really?
That if I employed you today and you wanted to leave, I would say, if it is not Meena,
I would rather sell my
I would
company.
rather sell my company. Are you that person? And if you're not, I think you should be starting now.
Wow. Yeah, so yes, I did manage that company like my own, like it's my business, my father's business, and I had never been an employee before. So also when I was running this company, it was never like an employee. It was like it was my business.
It's your company.
And I think the then chairman, who was also once a managing director, he noticed that, and he said that he could not replace me. So he decided to sell the company, and I now needed to think about my life because my husband wanted to move to Canada, and I said that look, I have always focused on career, money, and all that, and I need to focus a little bit on my personal health. So I had to make that move in life. So then
You now moved to Canada?
Yes. Yes.
Did you get employment or did you decide to be a housewife again?
No. So my experience in Canada was a turning point in life.
Wow.
Again. Because again, in that part of the world, in the Western world, right, it's 100% of paper, what you are on paper. So once again,
Paper qualifications.
10 years. After 10 years, I was faced with exactly the same challenge, the same question.
Wow.
What degree do you have? What are your qualifications? At that time, I said I was finance director, I was managing director.
By then.
I said that's fine.
Yeah.
Your MBA from which university? Oh.
And the English, huh?
And then I said, okay, University of Papaland.
Papaland. Yes, not University of Papaland.
Okay. So again, it started. The same story started again. I still remember the HR, the words, because I've still not forgotten his words, whereby he said, "Give me one reason why I should look at your CV when I have 100 CVs here who are all degree
Please apply the
holders."
accent. Apply the accent.
The Canadian
Louder.
accent.
Yeah.
Apply the accent.
Give me one reason why I should look at your CV when I have 100 CVs here that are all degree holders from the university and
yours is from Papaland.
Yes. And I said, okay, never mind. I said, never mind. That hit me so hard.
Yeah.
It really did hit me so hard because I just said that I understood the
Yeah.
importance of a
Very true.
qualification.
Yeah.
Once again, it's
Yeah.
just a passport.
Yes.
Because after that, it's really you as a person.
when you are in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But a degree is just the passport
Yes.
to get you in.
Yeah.
So I still remember standing up and walking out of that room feeling so disheartened, coming home and telling my husband, and you know what my husband said? You can't expect, you can't take gold to a common man and ask him to tell you the value of gold, of that piece of
Wow.
gold. He'll just tell you this is a stone.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't
Who
work.
does
Never
that?
seen
Who does that?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so he made me feel good.
Yeah.
He said, don't worry,
Yeah.
you know what you are.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a big loss to him.
Yes.
You have not recognized.
Very true.
Right. But you see, the thing is, it's very difficult for you to, unless if you've been given an opportunity
Uh-huh.
to prove yourself. Like my ex boss, the way he
Employer.
gave me 15 days
Yeah.
or 30 days to
Yeah.
work for free.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and to prove my ability.
Yeah.
But in the Western world, they're not going to do that. They
Yeah.
don't have time to do that.
They don't have time to
They
do
don't
that.
have time to do that. So once again, friends come in, relatives come in. So my husband had his brothers, cousins there. So one of his brothers passed the word around that I have my sister-in-law from Kenya,
Uh-huh.
and she was a managing director of a company. And apparently, that person, they were golfing together and
Yeah.
said that, yeah, might as well send her to my office, get her,
Referrals.
Yeah, referral.
Your network.
yeah,
Yeah.
network.
Yeah.
So I remember going for an interview, and I still remember my cousin telling me, Meena, just alter your CV, remove the managing director and finance director,
Uh-huh.
and just make it a little humble and say accountant, you know. So
Oh, no, that's not my class. That's not my
and
standard.
then he's like, you know,
Yeah.
because you don't have qualifications, and in this part of the world, it's very difficult for people to believe that you
And
can
especially
be
the
managing.
employed from Papaland University.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'll remove the managing director, but
Yeah.
I'll retain the finance director.
Yeah.
Because I was. So I went for my interview, and obviously he was impressed, but he
Yeah.
knew my situation, that
Yeah.
I do not have the papers. So I'm not going to be able to get a job out there, so obviously a little bit of
Yeah.
exploitation.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So he offered me a certain pay, which
Yeah.
was average in that country.
Uh-huh.
And I said, okay, no problem, I'll
Uh-huh.
take it. But I told him, but on a condition.
Uh-huh.
In 3 months, we should
Here
revisit.
is- You have to revisit this.
We should revisit this.
Yeah.
And he was so confident that
Uh-huh.
there's no change that's going to happen. So he
Yeah.
committed.
Uh-huh. He admitted.
He committed.
Admitting to something you don't want to
Yes.
put yourself into.
Yes. So he said, okay, fine.
Uh-huh.
We'll visit your pay after 3 months.
Uh-huh.
So I joined the company. Of course, there were challenges there because in that part of the world, they don't take the trouble to train you. And they expect you, they just show you around.
They expect you should know what you're supposed to be
Yeah,
doing.
yeah. So they expect you to know. If you get stranded, you need to Google it.
Yeah.
You need
Wow.
to find your way out.
Glue glue.
You have to Google.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So you have to find your way around.
Yeah.
So there and your colleagues, okay, everybody's there to look out for their own jobs.
So what challenges did you face at your now new place in Canada? And you didn't have papers here, you're working with people who already know what they're supposed to do. They already have the papers. And you don't have papers, but your inner self, your inner Meena is telling you that you can still do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge for me to be from a managing position because
Average.
I was managing nearly 250 people
Yeah.
with 30 admin staff,
Yeah.
back to an employee
Yeah.
where I had colleagues.
Yeah.
So now I was on the floor.
You're on the floor.
I was photocopying. I was
Wow.
filing.
Wow.
But I had to start somewhere.
From managing director to a photocopier
Yes.
to a filer.
Yes.
Do you have such names?
We'll have
From a
them.
managing director, finance director, to someone who is photocopying in a company, in a foreign company and someone who is also filing, just doing the secretarial or messagerial jobs.
So far so good. Looking at Meena's life,
Yeah.
life has been ups and down, ups and down. But you know, whenever she went down, she knew I needed to go back up.
That
My
was
place
not- that's
is up.
not her
I am not
space.
meant to stay down. So
Yes.
she always went back to her labor.
Yes.
Yeah. So
My father's words, never give up.
Never give up.
Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. So then I just started.
You're now photocopying, they are now sending you. Are you also making tea for them?
Unfortunately, in that part of the
Uh-huh.
world, you don't do that. You
Uh-huh.
just have to do everything yourself.
Yourself.
Yeah, but
So
yes,
how
I
was it for you? Because you are now learning, they're not sending you, go do this,
Yes,
go photocopy,
so
go
of
do
course,
this.
it was the new kid on the block.
Yes.
Obviously, and I had to do every chore that
Yeah.
they didn't like.
In Kenya we call it KYM. Kadayamoko. Kadayamoko, guys. That was Meena. In Canada.
Yeah, so they would ask me to answer the doors. They would
Yeah.
ask me to receive goods. They would ask me to receive
Yes.
phone calls. They would go and ask me to go and check the mail. It was snowing out there.
Yes.
It's very cold in
you are the
Canada.
right hand woman.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I was everything.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I told them? In my mind, I said, "Let it come. You're training me.
Yeah.
You think you're not
Especially the
training me?
filing. Earlier on, you mentioned
You're
about you are
training.
now filing and you will see mistakes and all that.
Yes,
Please take
yes.
us through
So,
that. Yeah.
I knew that I was getting trained. I was
Yes.
getting exposed to so many things.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so they asked me to do a whole lot of filing job. And with my experience,
Accounts.
whatever I do, I put in 100%.
Yes.
So I was checking, and I was an accountant,
Yes.
so of course I was checking what I was filing.
Yes.
And I would find mistakes. I would
Yes.
find mistakes in the remittances, I would find mistakes in the postings.
So attention
I
to
would-
detail.
I would straight away take it to the obviously the director was also
Uh-huh.
the accountant there.
Yeah.
I mean, she was looking after the well, they had a financial controller,
Yeah.
but she was doing the postings and
Mhm.
payments as well.
Mm-hmm.
So each time I would take it to her and she would say, "Oh, Meena, wow, that's a great job."
Yeah.
And I was saving them money. I remember
Wow.
I saved them some £4,000, £5,000. So slowly they said that, and when I was also the purchasing officer, yeah. So when I was doing the purchasing, because of my background of managing a company, negotiating, obviously I was negotiating with all the suppliers.
Wow.
And I was always getting a better deal. So now the director also got, I said, "Oh wow, you're saving me bucks." So each time that happened, within a span of a month or two, I was fully trained. So slowly, now my colleagues started understanding that, right? And now it was becoming competitive.
Uh-huh.
But I was getting more responsibilities.
Uh-huh.
I was getting more of accounts jobs. Yeah? So more reconciliations. The company had a lot of debts, which were not
And you were
getting
able
paid.
to maneuver all that.
Yes, yes.
Guys, she had not gone to school to do accounting. Here she is saving a company bucks.
Yes. So with the go-getter attitude,
Yes.
do it now. I was making sure I finish my work,
Yeah.
I get the
Putting it all.
reconciliation,
You're all in.
statements.
Yeah.
Yes. So within 3 months, I didn't have to ask for a meeting.
Uh-huh.
And he called me and said, "Meena, I'd like to have a chat with you."
Remember, it was a promise.
Yes. In 3 months, he gave me a 40% raise.
Wow.
Woo!
40%.
40% raise.
40% raise.
From
And
a messengerial to someone who's being given 40% raise because you're doing a good job.
because I did, and he straight away he promoted me to a purchasing officer in his company.
Wow.
And he told me that he wanted me to be the financial controller. But if I could work on getting some qualification, because according to that part
Yeah.
of the world,
Yeah.
the-
Papers.
a financial controller had to have some qualification.
Yeah.
And I said, fine, I don't have a problem.
Uh-huh.
I could work on that. I did want to.
Yeah.
Right. So started taking up the accounting job as well.
So for how many years did you work in that company?
I worked in that company for about 2 years.
2 years. And in 2 years you had already become a purchasing officer?
Yes.
Any other title?
And I was doing accounts.
And she was doing accounts.
Although I was not the financial controller,
Yeah.
but I was doing all the reconciliations.
Yes.
I was doing and the company was having a lot of difficulty collecting their debts.
Yeah.
So when I took over that portfolio, I made them cash rich. So they didn't have cash flow problems because they were
From
collecting
starting
in time.
entry level, someone who is saving an organization.
So
Pounds and pounds of money.
it was turning around that company. Then
So after 2 years,
after 2 years, of course, I was expecting my first daughter,
wow.
and in Canada we get about a year off.
Yeah. So at that point before now, you are now on, you're expecting your daughter. How old is your daughter now?
She's 7 years old.
She's 7 years. She has a daughter 7 years old. 7 years old. And at that time, you still have colleagues who are looking down at you. What is it that, I mean, what are you telling me? I've been here longer. Did you have such attitude from colleagues?
Of course, of course. In fact, they saw that the attitude of everybody in the office had changed towards me in 3 months, and
She's
now
not the favorite.
now I created a benchmark for them.
Wow.
So I could see them adapting to my way of working, the way I talk to suppliers, and
Courtesy.
I could see that things were changing in the workplace.
Yeah.
It was not very easy for me because there was a lot of resistance. Yeah, but I just stuck. I just hung in there.
You
It
broke
was
through
just-
the wall.
Yeah, it was perseverance. So now I'm my own boss. Yeah.
Wow. Now let me ask you, because you were asked previously, do you have papers? What will you show? What is on your CV? Do you still ask people who come to seek jobs in your company? Do you ask them, what do you have?